Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Alright, Call, which means all. Halayim, which means praises. La, which means two. Yahweh is the name of the Most High God, which the word, that's his true name, God is just a title. Alright? And that means he exists. And then you have Bahashem in the name, alright? Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son, who everybody who really calls Jesus. That means he delivers, he saves. And that's in the Paleo Hebrew tongue, which is the beginning Hebrew. Alright, that's the holy tongue, the Lashawan Kodash. Alright, I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Wa Barakathama to the hopeful elect. Alright, now today is going to be a quick lesson going into the Declaration of Independence, man. How there is no independence for the Israelites, which happen to be compiled of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. All right? There is no independence for you. We're still under the curses, and the reason why is because the only way we get redeemed from these things, or be adopted back is through Yahweh Shai, who the word really calls Jesus. All right? That's the only way we can escape. Let's go ahead and read this real fast. This is the Declaration of Independence states three basic ideas. All right, it says that God made all men equal and gave them rights of life. Now we know in this society everybody isn't equal. A so-called black person can get arrested, or a so-called Hispanic, an Israelite will get arrested for doing certain things. That you'll see a Edomite, which happen to be the people who are ruling right now, do the same thing, and then there's no equal punishment coming, which goes to the oppression that we're going through being here. You can see a white man being very resistant to the cops, and the authorities, and then nothing will happen. But as soon as a so-called Israelite does it, they get put to death, or they'll get body slammed, or one of those things will happen. And the reason why is because that's part of the curses, and we're not going to escape them until the Lord returns back. All right, he has to deliver us from these curses, man. All right, because that's why we're still on the bottom, and we can still, our main enemy being the so-called white man, they're really red. They're the Edomites. Our main enemy can kick you in the ass and nothing can happen, man. All right. But if you look into everything that's happening right now, it's not equal. The Israelite just can't go into no nice ass neighborhood and buy a house still without getting racially profiled. He can't go walk into a store without being followed by people that's inside the store thinking that he's gonna steal something. It shows there's a difference. He can't just choose any college he wants to go to and then it's just covered, because we're under the curses. All right, it says the main business of government is to protect these rights. Now, if you know your history, you would know that the Israelites had no damn rights. And now they so-called have some, which really technically is still the same shit. Same thing still happening. They just found a slave that thinks he's free is the best slave. And that's all they've done with this modern way system that they have going on, man. Still a slave though, man. Still under oppression. Still get shot up and fucked up by the cops all the time. And you see the video of the it was a video that happened a long time ago where two Edomites, which are so-called white men, Caucasian. I'm gonna start saying Caucasian, but two Caucasian men were inside a woman's apartment. That was in her name and everything. So called in her name and stuff. They was in her apartment, and she called the cops, and then the cops were just reasoning with the dudes like, "Okay, is this your apartment?" All that. But let that had been a Edomite, a Caucasian woman who called the cops, and it was two Israelite men, a Negro, Latino, Native American Indian man inside of that building, then they would have gotten shot, or they would have got fucked up real quick, which shows that there's not equal. It's not equal. So the Declaration of Independence is nonsense. It's bullshit. For the Israelites, it says if a government tries to withhold these rights, the people are free to result and set up what? We ain't free to do nothing here, man. Let's go to where I was at. Let's see if it goes back. So I'm gonna get that real quick. Yep, it says to set up a new government. And we already seen what happened when the Israelites tried to set up stuff. We saw what happened. It gets destroyed instantly. All right. And guess what? Guess what the slaves were looked at during this time period? It says Article 1, the Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States declared that any man who was not free would be counted as 3/5 of a free individual for the purpose of determining congregational representation. The 3/5 clause thus increased political power of slaveholding states. All right. So you looked at, so the Israelites are being looked at as 3/5 of a man or a person. So how the hell is that independence? The so-called Declaration of Independence was bullshit. It's only independence for the Edomites and other people, but guess what? For your Israelites, it wasn't. You still ain't free. Guess what? Guess what's happening to the Israelites? You're still being oppressed because you're cursed. The Lord put curses upon us, put our enemies over us, and brought us low. All right, let's read it. This is oppression. It says prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. Look at the transatlantic slave trade. Look at the Native American Indian Removal Act. Look at the slave captivity of the Aztecs. Look in the history of what happened to you. And then you read the scriptures. Look at what happened under the captivity under the Grecians during the Seleucid dynasty. All right, under Antiochus. Look at what happened to us during 70 AD. Their true Israelites are the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. All right, and guess what? The Lord did that to us, but it's a beauty in it because it wasn't to destroy us, but it's to correct us because we went off. We served other gods, false idols. We didn't follow the first covenant, so we got punished for that. Our nation as a whole. You read the curses, it said they shall be for a sign and a wonder. And then a lot of those things we went through, the people who it applies to is right in front of you, man. The Israelites. You do have Israelites that look like the heathen nations because we were scattered. They're Israelite foreigners. But the ultimate, namely, it's the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. Who are what? Oppressed. They're oppressed. Prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control, man. Persecution, abuse, mistreatment. You seen it, man. Being plucked from the land you go to possess it, that's a curse. And that's oppression. Let's read the next one definition. The state of being subject to unjust treatment or control. And we were subject to that because the Lord put it upon us. Put those evils upon us. Because we went off. He punished us as a whole. But the only person that can free us is the Lord. But the point I want to make is we're not free. We're still under oppression. Let's see, persecution, abuse, ill treatment, bad treatment, tyranny. We're still under oppression. Let's get this. This is Baruch 3 verse 8, because we're still in a nation where we don't even originate from. And then we can't even go to the land where that's really our land right now. You see them kicking people out of the land of the east, which technically the Lord told us not to go until the Lord said He gonna put us in our land, But you had Israelites who went over there, and guess what happened? They got kicked out of the land, told to go back, got sent back over here. All right, to the places of our captivity. But now let's go ahead and go back into the scriptures. This is Baruch chapter 3 verse 8. It reads, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, man, and the Lord has scattered the Israelites amongst the four corners of the earth. In different parts. You have them around the four corners of the earth. You have Israelites in the Americas, in Europe, and everywhere. But it happened ultimately because we went off. That was a punishment. That's why we're not in our holy land we was in at first. It says where thou hast scattered us. So we got scattered. All right. And during this scattering, we were placed under our enemies and under oppression. Ill treatment. And we're not equal to them. They looked at us as 3/5 of a man. And then you have the so-called Northern Kingdom. Well, actually, not the Northern Kingdom, which would be the Latin-speaking tribes and the Indian tribes. Guess what? Guess what, man? The Native American tribes. Guess what? They were here. They had the land of the Americas first, and they got taken from them. And now it's hard for them to get citizenship over here. They can't even when they try and come over here to America for a so-called better life. They can't even come over here because they not even allowing some people to come over here. They don't got citizenship. Send them back over to where they came from. Send them back over to Mexico or wherever. Which is part of that oppression. All right, which shows there's no fucking independence. You can't even go back to the land that you had first. Your people had first. Let's keep reading though. It says for a reproach and a curse. And that's what happened to us. It says and to be subject to payments. That's a curse. According to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power, man. All right. Now I want to get this one scripture really fast, real quick. Let's go straight into it. All right, let's see. Oh, Slakia. All right, let's go and grab this real fast. For reproach. Let's get it real quick. All right, let's go to the Apocrypha. All right. Sin Baruch. Let's go straight to it. All right, this is Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, ye were delivered unto your enemies, man. And our enemies are these heathen nations. All right, who the Lord set up above us and put us in captivity under many different times. But there is no independence. We're speaking of modern America right now, and we got brought here in slave ships, and we're still under our enemies, man, being oppressed. So there is no independence until the Lord returns back, until Yahweh Shai, which means he delivers, who the word really calls Jesus Christ, until he returns. That's when we get free, the Israelites, man. That's when we escape the curses. You can't try and build up your own shit and do all that, because you're not free. They can still do whatever they want to you and get away with it. All right, we ain't got no freedom here. Let's go ahead and keep reading. This is Isaiah 14, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. All right, and that's what's going to happen. This is the real independence. All right, it says, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were. This is what's going to happen. This is what the Lord getting ready to do for the Israelites. And that's when we're going to be free. It says, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And we just look what oppressors is. The ones who did ill treatment, bad treatment, cruel or unjust treatment. And that got done to us by our enemies. But guess what? When we really get our real independence, which is going to be when the Lord returns back, and we go into our land that our forefathers possessed, and these heathen nations are going to be under us. That's when the real independence is going to be for the Israelites, man. We ain't got no we ain't free here. We're in captivity. We're still under curses. Let's read this. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, all right, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, it says that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So if we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and be obedient unto our Lord, guess what was going to happen? We got cursed. Now let's get some of these curses, man, to show. All right. Let's get this one right here. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 22. Yahweh shall smite thee with the consumption, with the fever, and with the inflammation, and with an extreme burning. All right, we're talking about like different infirmities and sicknesses. It says, and with the sword. Now, if you look into Psalms, it says the wicked, which is thy sword. Now the Lord applies to Esau, Edom, being the wicked, the border of wickedness. So that's the Lord's. That's who the Lord uses as a sword instrument to destroy. All right, and these niggas be coming fucking with Israelites, man, because you're not free. They can fuck you up and nothing gonna happen. Talk to you crazy. You might have a supervisor that's an Edomite, a Caucasian person, and they'll just talk to you crazy. And you can't do shit about it. If you say something, if you try and talk shit to them, you'll get fired. Or you get a lawsuit, anything like that, because this is not we're not free. It says, and with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Let's get some more curses, man. We're not done yet. All right. Let's see. We got to get some of these curses, man, because we not, man. Hey, man, we not free here. Let's get this. This is Deuteronomy 28. Let's see. Verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee. If you have a servant, the Lord is not equal to his servant. You got put in captivity under the Edomites. You're not equal to them here, man. We're really better than them, but guess what? The Lord has given them, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked right now. You can't do what they can do. It says in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. It says, and in want of all things. We got to come to them for everything. You got to go to them to find information. You found your little Egyptology, that bullshit is off, but you got to go to them to go find the books and the information. You got to go to them for money to pay for everything you got to buy to even live. It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Mentally and physically. They did it physically in slavery times. Yokes of iron on our necks. How fair is that? Is that very fair treatment? Is that very equal treatment? Nah. Let's keep reading, man. That's what I want to get. Let's see. Foot shall have no rest. All right, we're going to get this. To get Deuteronomy 28, verse 63. It says, and it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you. It says, and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. All right, and that's happened plenty of times. And they can do that because guess what? You ain't fucking equal with them. Ain't no damn independence, man, until the Lord come back. Let's get this right here. Let's get 64 and 65. This is it says, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. All right, from among all the different nations. It says from one end of the earth even unto the other. All right, that's where the Israelites are scattered everywhere. You have Israelite foreigners that look like these other nations. It says, and there thou shalt serve other gods. All right, idols, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Some bullshit, all types of idols. It says, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease. If you find an ease, guess what? I mean, if somebody ain't finding ease, then that means they ain't equal. Because if everybody was equal, then everybody would be at ease, right? Nah. It says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. You ain't gonna get no fucking rest here, man. Jake busting their ass out here. Meanwhile, other people get to just live good, live off what they folks have built up. When we built up so much shit, we ain't got shit to show for it because we under the curses, man. How the hell our forefathers built up all this shit, but yet we have nothing? Just as it was in Egypt back then, in ancient Egypt. The Israelites built up everything, and then guess what? Once you take the Israelites away, it was no fucking Egypt. Let's keep reading. It says, but Yahweh shall give thee their trembling of heart, and a failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind, man. All right, lastly, out of Deuteronomy 28, let's get the last one. Let's get this point right here, man. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And this is speaking of Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, which will be America. All right, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. This is speaking of America. Okay, if you look into Israel, if you look into a map, Israel and Egypt is right next to each other. To get to America, you got to go west. That's where the ships come in to get to America. It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, and it says ships. Don't we know about the transatlantic slave trades? All right. It says, thou shalt see it no more again. It's talking about our land. eastward. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Where is the equality in that? And no man shall buy you, which means redeem. And the only person that can redeem us is Yahweh Shai. And it says, I'm not coming to visit you as a man. So guess what? He's not coming as a man anyhow. That's why and also the scripture say he calls Lord the Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Let's keep reading though. We're gonna keep going though. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion. So who is our main adversary? Is Esau Edom, our enemy. It says, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. They can fuck you up. And they ready to fuck you up. They ready to get at you, man. All right. The physical counterpart of the devil is Esau Edom, a physical counterpart of Satan, adversary. They're the wicked. And they're waiting to fuck up you Israelites, man. They can't wait until you screw up. You make the wrong move so they can shoot you or kill you. And that shows that there is no freedom. There's no independence, man. We ain't equal to them in this society. But guess what? That's why the Lord is going to come back and deliver us, man. But let's get this. This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 12. It says, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. He brought great evils upon the Israelites, right? Let's keep reading. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. All right? Nobody got done as bad as the Israelites, man. But lastly, I'm going to get this, man. All right? Which shows that we not free yet. But guess what? We're going to be free. But it's going to be some stuff that happens when we become free. Let's read this. Deuteronomy 30 and 3. Then Yahweh thy power will turn again thy captivity and have compassion upon thee. All right, what's going to happen when the Lord does that? It says, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither Yahweh have scattered thee. All right, that ain't happened yet. It says, if any of thine be driven out unto the uttermost parts of the heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy power gather thee, from thence will he fetch thee. All right. And we're in these different nations in captivity. And it's not equal. This is when we're gonna get the real independence, when we get delivered. All right. But anyways, Lord will, this was edifying. I'm gonna end it off by saying, call Allah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. So next time, Shalom.